College is an amazing time to not only learn about yourself, but also get acclimated to the university and have great responsibility when it comes to being in classes and who you are as a student. Hello Gators, my name is Jason Holliday and I do serve as the Associate Director of the Gators Success Center. And today we're gonna be talking about different tips and strategies for you to become very successful in your semester. Time management can be a common problem for any student, but throw work, children, and social activities in the mix, and the daily web of responsibilities become even more difficult to tame. Getting your family to sit down for a meal together at home is tough as it is, so the added stress of weekly assignments to complete and exams to study for can easily become overwhelming. You're not alone in attempting to balance a chaotic schedule in earning your degree. In fact, 40% of students ages 16 to 29 and 76% of students ages 30 to 54 work while in school. As you might imagine, if you're a student with competing priorities, it's incredibly important to focus on time management in college. So what can you do to manage your time better? Whether you're fresh out of high school or working 2 jobs while raising a family, these time management strategies and tips for college students will help you keep organized and turn in your assignments on time. In college, I had to learn so many different things. I had to learn how to go to class on time. I had to learn how to go to work on time. I had to be on time for different events because I was involved in many organizations. But then I had to quickly realize I had to have time for myself. And you're probably in the same position as I was in when I was in undergrad. You know, working full-time as a student, but also being a full-time student at the university. And that's what we're gonna be talking about today. How do you have a balanced social life and to be able to have great time management skills while you're in the classroom? And this is gonna be the things that we're gonna be discussing in this PowerPoint presentation. They say that college usually lasts about 4 to 5 years, and before you know it, you're gonna be walking across the stage. But guess what? Time flies, but you're the pilot. These are the tips and tools for you to effectively time manage. Many different outcomes and objectives that we want you to get out of this presentation, but here are a few things that we want you to have at the conclusion of this presentation. First and foremost, we want you to define and explain the importance of time management. We want you to identify 3 methods of time management, and we want you to create a personal time management tool. Exactly is time management, right? So it is the ability to consistently use your time productively, do what needs to be done when it needs to be done, checking all things off on your daily to-do list, and setting and achieving realistic goals within a time frame. Let's unpack this and break this down. Doing what needs to be done when it needs to be done basically means don't procrastinate. I don't know about you, but I had real bad situations where I struggled with procrastination. I was always the type of person that was like, I can do that tomorrow. I can do that next week. I can put this off till Saturday. No, if you know that you have an assignment that's coming up probably in next week, let's start doing and making some checklists and try to make some to-do lists on how we're gonna be able to attack that assignment and get it out the way. Do not procrastinate. Trust me, it will harm you in the end. Don't be like me. Do those types of checklists and get the assignment done. Is setting realistic goals and achieving them within a time frame. So let's just say that you have an assignment. Let's say that you have an exam that's due next week. Why don't you just start today to go through some of the material that you have and start to see exactly what will probably be on the exam. Let's say that you take 30 minutes or 45 minutes a day to kind of just look over the material and then take 2 hours or so to study. Those are some of those types of realistic goals that you can set for yourself that you know that you'll be able to have a good grade when it comes to that exam. So making sure that you're taking the time to set those goals and to achieve them within a time frame is going to help you in the end to have a better grade whenever the assignment comes. Of good time management include productivity and efficiency, higher grades and test scores, sufficient energy, healthier eating habits and behaviors, and the ability to meet deadlines on time. Your favorite people that you see within the media, such as Michelle Obama and DJ Khaled and Mark Zuckerberg, the founder and CEO of Facebook, all have great time management skills, and you have those skills as well. You have to know exactly what type of semester you're going to have and try to plan and to attack that semester as it comes. As I said earlier, if you know that you have an assignment that's a week or 2 weeks away, start to make those goals and start to make those things that you need to do right now so that you can have a better grade in the end. One tip or strategy that I can give you is to write everything down. You have no idea what it feels like when you're in class, when you have a professor that's coming up to you at the conclusion of class and being like, okay guys, you have homework tomorrow, but you also have 3 assignments that are due on Friday and an exam the next week. You start to get in panic mode. What I can kind of give you is to make sure that you go through your syllabus through the beginning of the semester to write down all the important dates of when you have an assignment. So that way, when those assignments come throughout the semester, you can anticipate for it for when it's supposed to come. The tip that I can give you is this. You see this here? Use your phone and put it to good use. There are many apps that are out there that can help you to stay organized, such as Google Calendars. There's different things to give you on there, like a different planner that you can put reminders and different types of assignments in. So when it comes up, it starts to give you an alert. Also, there's apps for help you study and to kind of go over the things that you've learned in class. So please use your phone and put it to good use. This will help you a million times over. Another tip that I would like to give you is to make sure that you're creating and sticking to a routine that you do on a weekly and a daily basis. If you know that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are your class days and Tuesday and Thursday are your days to work, then you already know what kind of routine you're gonna get in when Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday, and when they come. So please stick to a routine, making sure that you're going to bed at a good time and waking up in the morning to prepare for your day and knowing exactly what type of day it is so that you can attack it. Sticking to a routine will help you in the long run, so make sure that you're planning effectively and you stick to that routine. Things that students fail to realize and fail to practice at is making sure that they keep their physical health in check and also their mental health in check. So with this tip, it's talking about you being healthy. Making sure that you know that when you have a class the next day that you're going to bed on time, that when you wake up in the morning that you have a nice breakfast, and throughout the day, if you happen to feel tired, that when your day is over, that you take care of your body, that you do exercises, if you do yoga, if you try to meditate, do what needs to be done so that you can effectively become a very healthy person. That's not only physically, but that's also mentally. So if you need to try to read a book, or if you have to decrease your stress level, or try to talk to someone, we want to make sure that you're being healthy in all aspects of your life. If you're healthy as a student, it will reduce your stress levels and help you to become more effective in your classes so that you can do well in the end. Talking about all of the good tips and strategies of time management, but there are some negative things and some bad effects of time management if you fail to plan properly. What exactly does that look like? The effects of poor time management include procrastination, lower grades and test scores, lack of sleep, unhealthy eating habits, and a lack of punctuality. Things that we've been talking about with procrastination is so that you can avoid things piling up on you. The thing is, if you get on top of those things, the things won't get on top of you. So make sure that when you have an assignment that you attack it right then and there. And if you need help, reach out to a peer mentor, someone on campus, a staff member to kind of help you give some strategies about how to not procrastinate. It will help you in the long run and help you to go ahead to attack one thing in the class. Now, if you're a full-time student, this is just one class. So you want to go ahead and plan effectively so that you can get your assignments out the way. I know I've been talking a lot about time management, the good things, the bad things, but I kind of want you to hear from someone who has a different experience with procrastination. It's TED Talk time, and this video is going to be coming from Mr. Tim Urban, and he's going to be talking about his experiences with procrastination. So take a look at this quick video, and we'll come back to discuss.
So in college, I was a government major, which means I had to write a lot of papers. Now, when a normal student writes a paper, they might spread the work out a little like this. So, you get started maybe a little slowly, but you get enough done in the first week that with some heavier days later on, everything gets done and things stay civil. And I would want to do that like that. That would be the plan. I would have it all ready to go, but then actually the paper would come along, and then I would kind of do this. And that would happen every single paper. But then came my 90-page senior thesis, a paper you're supposed to spend a year on. I knew for a paper like that, my normal workflow was not an option. It was way too big a project. So I planned things out, and I decided I kind of had to go something like this. This is how the year would go. So I'd start off light, and I'd bump it up in the middle months. And then at the end, I would kick it up into high gear. It's just like a little staircase. How hard could it be to just walk up the stairs? No big deal, right? But then, funniest thing happened. Those first few months, they came and went, and I couldn't quite do stuff. So we had an awesome new revised plan. But then those middle months actually went by, and I didn't really write words. And so we were here. And then 2 months turned into 1 month, which turned into 2 weeks. And one day I woke up with 3 days until the deadline, still not having written a word. And so I did the only thing I could. I wrote 90 pages over 72 hours, pulling not one but 2 all-nighters. Humans are not supposed to pull 2 all-nighters. Sprinted across campus, dove in slow motion, and got it in just at the deadline. I thought that was the end of everything. But a week later, I get a call. It's the school. And they say, "Is this Tim Urban?" And I say, "Yeah." And they say, "We need to talk about your thesis." And I say, "Okay." And they say, "It's the best one we've ever seen." That did not happen. It was a very, very bad thesis. I just wanted to enjoy that one moment when all of you thought, "This guy is amazing." No, it was very, very bad. Anyway, today I'm a writer, blogger guy. I write the blog Wait But Why. And a couple of years ago, I decided to write about procrastination. My behaviors always perplexed the non-procrastinators around me, and I wanted to explain to the non-procrastinators of the world what goes on in the heads of procrastinators and why we are the way we are. Now, I had a hypothesis that the brains of procrastinators were actually different than the brains of other people. And to test this, I found an MRI lab that actually let me scan both my brain and the brain of a proven non-procrastinator, so I could compare them, and I actually brought them here to show you today, and I want you to take a look carefully to see if you can notice a difference. And I know that if you're not a trained brain expert, it's not that obvious, but just take a look, okay? So here's the brain of a non-procrastinator. Now, here's my brain. There is a difference. Both brains have a rational decision maker in them, but the procrastinator's brain also has an instant gratification monkey. Now, what does this mean for the procrastinator? Well, it means everything's fine until this happens. So the rational decision maker will make the rational decision to do something productive, but the monkey doesn't like that plan. So he actually takes the wheel and he says, "Actually, let's read the entire Wikipedia page of the Nancy Kerrigan-Tanya Harding scandal because I just remembered that happened. Then we're going to go over to the fridge. We're going to see if there's anything new in there since 10 minutes ago. After that, we're going to go on a YouTube spiral that starts with videos of Richard Feynman talking about magnets and ends much, much later with us watching interviews with Justin Bieber's mom. All of that's going to take a while, so we're not going to really have room on the schedule for any work today. Sorry. Now, what is going on here? The instant gratification monkey does not seem like a guy you want behind the wheel. He lives entirely in the present moment. He has no memory of the past, no knowledge of the future, and he only cares about 2 things: easy and fun. Now, in the animal world, that works fine. If you're a dog and you spend your whole life doing nothing other than easy and fun things, you're a huge success. And to the monkey, humans are just another animal species. He has to keep well slept, well fed, and propagating into the next generation, which in tribal times might have worked okay. But if you haven't noticed, now we're not in tribal times. We're in an advanced civilization, and the monkey does not know what that is, which is why we have another guy in our brain, the rational decision maker, who gives us the ability to do things no other animal can do. We can visualize the future. We can see the big picture. We can make long-term plans. And he wants to take all of that into account. And he wants to just have us do whatever makes sense to be doing right now. Now, sometimes it makes sense to be doing things that are easy and fun, like when you're having dinner or going to bed or enjoying well-earned leisure time. That's why there's an overlap. Sometimes they agree. But other times, it makes much more sense to be doing things that are harder and less pleasant for the sake of the big picture, and that's when we have a conflict. And for the procrastinator, that conflict tends to end a certain way every time, leaving him spending a lot of time in this orange zone, an easy and fun place that's entirely out of the make sense circle. I call it the dark playground. Now, the dark playground is a place that all of you procrastinators out there know very well. It's where leisure activities happen at times when leisure activities are not supposed to be happening. The fun you have in the dark playground isn't actually fun because it's completely unearned and the air is filled with guilt, dread, anxiety, self-hatred, all those good procrastinator feelings. And the question is, in this situation with the monkey behind the wheel, how does the procrastinator ever get himself over here to this blue zone? A less pleasant place, but where really important things happen. Well, turns out that the procrastinator has a guardian angel, someone who's always looking down on him and watching over him in his darkest moments, someone called the panic monster. Now, the panic monster is dormant most of the time, but he suddenly wakes up anytime a deadline gets too close or there's danger of public embarrassment, a career disaster, or some other scary consequence. And importantly, he's the only thing that the monkey is terrified of. Now, he became very relevant in my life pretty recently because the people of TED reached out to me about 6 months ago and invited me to do a TED Talk. Now, of course, I said yes. It's always been a dream of mine to have done a TED Talk in the past. But in the middle of all this excitement, the rational decision maker seemed to have something else on his mind. He was saying, are we clear on what we just accepted? Do we get what's going to be now happening one day in the future? We need to sit down and work on this right now. And the monkey said, totally agree, but also let's just open Google Earth and let's zoom into the bottom of India, like 200 feet above the ground, and we're going to scroll up for 2.5 hours till we get to the top of the country so we can get a better feel for India. So that's what we did that day. As 6 months turned into 4, and then 2, and then 1, the people of TED decided to release the speakers. And I opened up the website, and there was my face staring right back at me, and guess who woke up? So the panic monster starts losing his mind, and a few seconds later, the whole system's in mayhem. And the monkey, who, remember, he's terrified of the panic monster. Boom, he's up the tree. And finally, the rational decision maker can take the wheel and I can start working on the talk. Now, the panic monster explains all kinds of pretty insane procrastinating behavior, like how someone like me could spend 2 weeks unable to start the opening sentence of a paper and then miraculously find the unbelievable work ethic to stay up all night and write 8 pages. And this entire situation with the 3 characters, this is the procrastinator's system. It's not pretty, but in the end, it works. And this is what I decided to write about on the blog just a couple years ago. Now, when I did, I was amazed by the response. Literally thousands of emails came in from all different kinds of people, from all over the world, doing all different kinds of things. These were people who were nurses and bankers and painters and engineers and lots of PhD students. And they were all writing, saying the same thing. I have this problem too. But what struck me was the contrast between the light tone of the post and the heaviness of these emails. These people were writing with intense frustration about what procrastination had done to their lives, about what this monkey had done to them. And I thought about this, and I said, if the procrastinator system works, then what's going on? Why are all these people in such a dark place? Well, turns out that there's 2 kinds of procrastination. Everything I've talked about today, the examples I've given, they all have deadlines. And when there's deadlines, the effects of procrastination are contained to the short term because the panic monster gets involved. But there's a second kind of procrastination that happens in situations when there is no deadline. So if you want to have a career where you want to be a self-starter, something in the arts, something entrepreneurial, there's no deadlines on those things at first because nothing's happening at first, not until you've gone out and done the hard work to get some momentum, to get things going. There's also all kinds of important things outside of your career that don't involve any deadlines, like seeing your family or exercising and taking care of your health, working on your relationship or getting out of a relationship that isn't working. Now, if procrastinator's only mechanism of doing these hard things is the panic monster, that's a problem because in all of these non-deadline situations, the panic monster doesn't show up. He has nothing to wake up for. So the effects of procrastination, they're not contained. They just extend outward forever. And it's this long-term kind of procrastination that's much less visible and much less talked about than the funnier short-term deadline-based kind. It's usually suffered quietly and privately. And it can be the source of a huge amount of long-term unhappiness and regrets. And I thought, that's why these people are emailing, and that's why they're in such a bad place. It's not that they're cramming for some project. It's that long-term procrastination has made them feel like a spectator at times in their own lives. The frustration was not that they couldn't achieve their dreams, it's that they weren't even able to start chasing them. So I read these emails and I had a little bit of an epiphany that I don't think non-procrastinators exist. That's right. I think all of you are procrastinators. Now, you might not all be a mess, like some of us. And some of you may have a healthy relationship with deadlines. But remember, the monkey's sneakiest trick is when the deadlines aren't there. Now, I want to show you one last thing. I call this a life calendar. That's one box for every week of a 90-year life. That's not that many boxes, especially since we've already used a bunch of those. So I think we need to all take a long, hard look at that calendar. And we need to think about what we're really procrastinating on, because everyone is procrastinating on something in life. We need to stay aware of the instant gratification monkey. That's a job for all of us. And because there's not that many boxes on there, it's a job that should probably start today. Well, maybe not today, but...
Amazing video. We don't want you to procrastinate at all. Procrastination is really bad. We're talking about the good things and the bad things of time management, but let's talk about how you personally can manage your time. Let's do a quick recap. What is time management? It essentially is the ability to consistently use your time productively. The do's are, number 1, write it down by using a planner or digital calendar. 2, create a personal schedule and be sure to include preparation time. 3, create to-do lists and prioritize. And 4, set goals. The don'ts are procrastination. Do not procrastinate. Number 6, put too many things on a to-do list. Number 7, cram or pull all-nighters. And number 8, stress yourself out. The many things that you could do at the university, regardless if you're in an organization or if you're a full-time student or if you have a job outside the university, is to take care of yourself. Many people say that the best care is self-care, and these are some ways that you can practice self-care. You have to take care of yourself, and in order to do that, here's some ways you can. Number 1, get adequate rest. 2, don't forget to eat. 3, exercise regularly. 4, take regular breaks during study time. 5, use a support system. And 6, plan to reward yourself. Now, in the beginning of the semester, the instructor or professor is going to give you your syllabus. It's going to outline in detail how the semester is going to go. But on the university website, there's an academic calendar for you to mark down important dates. So please make sure that you look out for the academic calendar so that you can know exactly what is coming up. And here are some of the ways you can do so. The official academic calendar shows important dates for campus. One of the ways you can utilize this is by using different colors to differentiate between your classes, study time, your daily commute, your personal obligations, which include family, friends, and work, and also socializing and your personal activities. Other time management tips and hacks for students include your planner and notebook, a Google Calendar, phone for calendar reminders and timers, complete large assignments by breaking them up, and sharing your goals and to-do tasks with other students. We want you to share all of your different accomplishments and different things that you've kind of experienced with time management to other students. So whatever strategies and tips that you have personally, go ahead and share it to your peers. They'll be able to do well in their classes as well. So what exactly did we learn today? And let's review about what the different things that we learned about time management. What is time management? What are the key words? And what are 3 ways to manage your time? You learned some tips and strategies on how you can effectively manage your time. And at any point in time that you need assistance or you need some more tips or some different experiences, please reach out to our office at the Gators Success Center and contact our staff members, and we'll be willing and ready to help you with your questions. If you haven't done so already, please follow us on all social media platforms for the latest updates of what's going on in our center and how we can effectively help you. We hope that you have an amazing and productive semester, and please remember to effectively manage your time. Remember, time flies, but you're the pilot.